Sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Hey everyone, this is Steve with SCOARTGLASS. Welcome to the stream tonight. I hope the sound is good. If you can give me a thumbs up in the chat, if the sound is coming through good, no echoes, anything like that sort, I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining me tonight. I'm kind of excited about this one tonight for the fact that it is the announcement of the stained glass patterns kits that I'm going to begin to offer on the SCOARTGLASS.com website. As with always, if you want to support the channel, I do thank everybody who is subscribing. I hit 300 tonight. So I appreciate everybody subscribing to the channel and supporting the channel in that manner. If you do want to support the channel more, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee link that's actually in the description below. You can go to that site and check out the extras we have there and support the channel that way. And another way you can support the channel is check out the t-shirts at the SCOARTGLASS.com website as well. Like I said, tonight, we are actually introducing the daisy pattern of the stained glass pattern kits, which will also be available. And with that, you also have the option to do a discover, learn, create stained glass project class. So if you purchase both of those items together, you will get a $10 discount as well at the time of purchase. This is going to be a private group class via Skype, and we're just going to go in there and do the pattern, but also talk about stained glass, and you can ask questions and get to know others that are starting out in stained glass or have been doing stained glass for a little while, but just want to come in and enjoy the time and the camaraderie and just get to know other people who are doing stained glass as well. So if you're interested in that, check out SCOARTGLASS.com. Link to the kits and everything will be in the description below. So tonight, like I said, we're going to jump right into this pattern here in a second. I appreciate the viewers last week, and hopefully this time we'll get a few more in tonight and check out the pattern that we're doing. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go to a new view tonight. See if I can get this set up right. There we go. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to actually keep a big screen going and then a small screen off to the side. So this is the pattern we're going to do tonight. It is the daisy pattern, and this one is a 4x4. In the kit will come 2 pieces of 4-inch by 4-inch white glass and 1 4-inch yellow glass. So I believe there'll probably be enough to do 2 of these if you wanted to. But basically, you'll have that. You'll have the pattern. You'll cut it out. I've already cut out the pattern, and I've already actually cut some pieces, but I did leave a few to cut here, just kind of, go over my style of cutting and foiling and grinding, and then we'll get into soldering as well. So I've got my oil here, and once you've got your patterns drawn onto your glass, I just like to take a little bit of oil, put on my cutting blade. And I use a saddle cutter. There are other cutters out there. You have the pencil cutter and the pistol grip. I have all of these, but this seems to be my preference, is this saddle cutter. Fits right in the palm of your hand, and I seem to have a lot more control over this cutter. So I'm just going to score my glass right just on the inside of that line. And then I'm just going to continue to do that, and we're going to get these pieces cut. So with this pattern, I'm hoping to, again, the point of the channel is really to create a community of stained glass artists, and, just really getting to know everybody in the community. And I think doing these lives is one way to do it. And then also offering out, especially for those who are just starting out in stained glass, a way to really get to know somebody else and doing some of these private classes and stuff. So I make my score marks just on the inside of those lines again. And I like to go ahead and score all I can without causing, really any issues now that these are all pieced out. If you had multiple pieces, you could still score multiple times on, not in the same spot, but on the same piece. So that way I've already got that one. See, sometimes you talk and you forget where you're at. And this is a pretty simple pattern. It's got some gradual curves in it. But I think anybody can pretty much do this particular pattern. Okay. Now that I got all my score marks on, what I like to do is I like to get a bowl and get it up close. And now these are my grosing pliers, and you want to keep the flat side on the top, and you want to do a breaking motion of pulling and breaking down, so that way you'll get a cleaner break where you've made your score mark. And I'll actually round all this off when I go over to the grinder. There we go. It's coming off pretty easily. This particular glass tends to break. It's the actual art glass. Sometimes on some of the fusing glasses, they may sometimes be a little bit harder to score and break, or not necessarily harder. It just they have a tendency to be a little bit more stubborn. Maybe we put it that way. All this will get rounded. Okay. And the last piece here. And we'll get into the good stuff here in a moment. I decided to take a break from the Mount Fuji project and do something a little bit different. Kind of just show some of these smaller projects that you can pretty much get done in just a couple hours. This one particular one, I do have set in stages, so that way it didn't take us a full two hours or so to do everything. Now the class that is being offered is actually a 3-hour Skype class. So that way it should give us plenty of time to ask questions and then also get through the actual pattern and get it completed in that time frame. So now that we got all this, we're actually going to go over to the grinder. So I'm going to actually switch cameras out here. Let me go to my full view. Just taking a second for that transition, a little slow today. So what I'd like to do is run us over to the grinder here and do some quick grinding of these pieces, and then we will actually come back and get back to work here. So let's see if it can go back to that. I'm just going to transition over to the project cam full view. There we go. There it is, sitting over there waiting. So we're going to run over there and do some grinding. All right, we will switch back to the other camera. That was the grinder cam. So we'll get back to the other one. And then we'll actually do a quick dry fit of everything. And that way we can move on and get the rest of it done over here. So now we've got the pattern, and we can just kind of make sure it kind of fits up in there. And these do. So, like I said, I did cheat a little bit, and had some things prepared for tonight. So you could just kind of see we would do that all the way around. So let me bring my other piece over here. And we will fit these remaining pieces into here. And we'll get this all sized up correctly. And then as I begin to solder everything in, we'll get everything kind of pushed in even closer. So there's your start of your daisy. So then our next step after we grind them, we made sure all these pieces are actually clean. And oh, hi Marcella. Thank you for joining tonight. So we've got this piece done. We're doing our daisy pattern tonight. Just a little stained glass pattern kit that we have on our website now, along with a class, a Skype class that can be purchased together. If you purchase these two together, it'll be a $10 off on that purchase. So now we're ready to go ahead and do our foiling. And so I'm going to actually use both of my machines tonight because I want to just, show both sides of foiling that you can do. So these are pretty simple to foil on these machines, on my foiling machine. Again, I'm using blackback. I'm still going to be silver solder, but because this is opalescent glass, doesn't have no transparency to it, you're safe to use it. It's not going to shadow out. If it was translucent or completely clear cathedral glass, then you would want to use silver back copper foil, so that way it blended real well with the solder and not give it a shadow. I'm actually doing well. I've been busy, not only with this, but of course with work and my full-time job and all that stuff. So just, generalized busy. Nice. Actually, today I took today off and was able to have a nice day. And I actually had a guest in the studio today, working and doing a project. So that was kind of nice. So I'm, happy. They're just learning stained glass and wanted to do a project and asked if they could use the studio. And yeah, no problem. New to stained glass and learning it, and but actually doing it through school. So I was, just said, yeah, no problem. It's a friend of my oldest. So I told him yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, it just seems like it's always busy. Um, just never ends. But luckily, it's a 4-day weekend for me. So today and all the way through Monday, go back to work on Tuesday. So I'm just gonna sit here and pretty much do glass this weekend. Um, maybe do something on 4th of July for a little bit, but I think I'm ready to just haven't had one of those what I call glass outs to where I just spend a whole just heap of time down in the studio just creating items. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for one of those, and I think after my vacation, I will actually be on vacation uh, starting the 16th. So there will be no live stream on the 16th or the 23rd. Those two. Those 2 Fridays, I'll be out. So I'm actually trying to create some videos for that week before I leave and get those scheduled to publish. So I kind of stay on my schedule pretty much. And then when I return, we'll pick up the lives again. I got a hair stuck. We'll pick up the lives back again. And I'm still working on a date for the other artist spotlight interview that we're going to be doing. And I'm working on the one for August as well. So excited about those as well. Some really cool artists coming on, and different way and highly experienced and everything. So looking forward to that. So are you working on any new projects? We're just talking, as if nobody else is listening. So it's just, having a good conversation, Marcella, and keep each other company while I do this pattern. And so now, as you can see here, when I did this, let's see if I can get a better view. You can see that there's a tag somewhat there. It doesn't seem like it wants to zero in on there too much. But right here, there is a tag that extends further out. So I'm going to use my razor knife and trim that out. Still working on that box. Okay, good. Actually, that is what the project that the person that came into the studio today is actually working on. They are also working on a box. So that's kind of neat. Is yours going to have a top on it with like a hinge, like a jewelry box hinge on it, or just kind of sit on top, or no top? As you see, when I use this foil machine, it actually This is why I like it, because it's pretty quick for me. I can kind of whip it around real quick and get the foil on and get my burnishing done and everything. You don't know if you're going to have a top on it or not? Or are you going to a class for it, or trying to learn it on your own? I can't remember what you said last week. Well, it's an inspired. You can see very similar designs out there, but I did draw it up. I drew it up on the software I've got. Really, just Inkscape, and drew it up in there, and just put it down and sized it to a 4-inch. But the way it's set up on this pattern, you can actually resize it to whatever size you want. If you want to go larger size, you just clip out the image that's in there and just resize it. Or you can use any type of pattern resizer software. Yeah, there's different types of software for stained glass out there. I think one of it's Resizer is one, and then also there is GlassEye 2000. And they have actually built-in glass swatches that you can actually fill in your pieces with and kind of see how it renders out and looks with that type of glass. I think Resizer is a monthly subscription, and the GlassEye 2000 is a piece of software that you just download or buy and download. I used the trial version of it for a little bit just to kind of test it out, and I want to try the Resizer. There's a couple of the artists that actually use it in their patterns and stuff, so I'm going to try that piece of software out as well. It looks like we got a few more joining us. Welcome. If you want, you can put where you're from, or say hello to Marcella in the chat already. If you're just checking out the pattern, hey, not a problem as well. Just want to make sure that we're being welcoming to any additional viewers that come in, and don't be scared to put anything in the chat. I'm trying to watch the chat and work at the same time, so that way I can answer any questions somebody may have, or just have a nice conversation, get to know those who are showing up for the live. So again, I'm burnishing my pieces down. Anytime you foil, you want to make sure you're burnishing your pieces down real well. So make sure that it gets a nice adhesion to the glass, and gets it prepped for your next step, which is going to be soldering. Have you done much soldering, Marcella, yet? I know you're foiling your piece, but I don't know from the other pieces that you created if you've done some soldering. Just a bit? Okay, good. Yeah, actually cutting glass is one of my favorite, my favorite step is cutting glass. I just like the breaking of the glass. Um, but with others, some people don't like the breaking of glass. The sound bothers them, but that's okay. Um, everybody will find their own favorite step. So far, three pieces. Okay, good. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button below. Trying to get that algorithm working a little bit better for me. But I am happy. It's one of those things that with YouTube, it's a long game. So I'm enjoying the subscribers I have and enjoying the interaction I'm having with everybody. So I do appreciate that. Leaving comments and asking questions on some of the videos. So I do appreciate that very much. If you know somebody else that's interested in stained glass, you can share the channel with them and everything. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm working towards some goals, and anything that you can do to help, I would greatly appreciate it. Just coming back and just watching the videos is awesome, and I just greatly appreciate it. And I wouldn't continue to do this if I didn't have the support of you guys. So again, I do appreciate it. And hopefully, the community that I'm aspiring to create will get there eventually. Cutting glass is difficult. It can be. Depends on the type of cuts and the actual glass that you're using. So it can be sometimes be a bit difficult. Texture glass really does make it more difficult because if you don't score it good enough, then it may have a tendency to have a mind of its own and may want to break off in a certain way. So now that I got yes, it is. Because if you ever get stuck on something, you got somebody to call, that understands what you're trying to do, and that's what I want to be able to create is others that have the same interests as I do, and just create a community that we can come together. Either be via a live stream like this or in a Facebook group. If you haven't already, I've got a link to my mailing list that's in the description below that is to my actually goes to my website, but it's a mailing list that you can get on for discount codes for products that I offer and art that I offer. But then also, I am looking at putting together a Facebook community, and I will notify those who subscribe to that newsletter and who are subscribers on YouTube will get that notification when I set that up. And that way we can actually go into that group and post questions and so forth like that. And, that's just another avenue for us to get together and get to know each other more. Post the things that you're working on, and ask questions about those things. And sometimes it can be intimidating to go into some of these bigger groups where there's a lot of expertise in there. But then sometimes, unfortunately, some people can be a little bit harsher on their criticism, not know that you are a new person starting out in stained glass, and sometimes can come across, and I don't think they mean to, but it can come across a little harsh at times, I think. So so when you're in a smaller private group where you kind of know that those who are joining in there may be new or are interested in looking at stained glass. Yes, I will be selling glass in the future. Um, right now, I do have I am an Amazon affiliate, and I do have some glass packs in there that are linked to Amazon, and you can actually go in and buy those glass packs that way, and that actually helps support the channel. You don't pay any more for that. It's just I just get a percentage of that sale, basically. So you can do that that way. And then as I build up my glass supply, then I will probably do some smaller custom cut pieces, or custom size type pieces and stuff like that. So and even if you don't find the glass pack that you're looking for, or the piece of glass you're looking for, if you actually go from my website into Amazon by clicking on one of those glass packs, then you can actually search other ones, and you're still going to help out the channel that way as well. Because I think it's a 48-hour window. If you purchase a thing with that 48 hours, it will actually help our channel out. So we still get a percentage of whatever you purchase. So which is great. That's how that kind of works out. So I'm actually going to jump over, and I'm going to take this one, and we are going to actually move over to soldering now. I've got one that was already done, and I kind of tacked it together already. And we're going to actually go ahead and do some soldering here. So I've been having my solder iron heat up and over here, so I'm hoping it's not too hot. It'll cool down here in a moment, and bring my flux over. And my solder. So I'm going to go run and get my gloves. So one thing I do is I use one kind of rubber heat resistant glove on the hand that I'm going to have free, because the copper does heat up, and that transfers heat pretty well, and might burn your hand. And then I also use a rubber glove. And a lot of this is because I'm trying to minimize the amount of flux I get on my hand, because then it just spreads onto the glass, and it's just much harder to clean. But I just don't want to get it everywhere as well. So so do the fact. So normally I tack everything together. I did that center. So now I'm just going to go ahead and flux this up, and we can do some solder beads going up, and I can just kind of show you my method on how I solder. Each person's got to find their own style, or what best works for them. There are some different techniques out there. Some will say that should be the only technique. Um, but I think you just have to find what is best for you, and how you you do your artwork and what works in the position that you're uh, in your setup. So I've come around and I've done, like I said, tacked it together, and I cleaned my iron up here. And I like to just, put it on and take a little bit at a time and just work it in there. I use the edge a lot. So now I hold it this way. Now there are some people that tell you to hold it like a pencil, which is fine. I can do it that way. I just actually don't feel comfortable this way when I do it. So again, it's just one of those things that you got to find what makes it comfortable for you. So I just kind of move it back out, and as we get out here, you'll see that it starts to spread out. So then you have to decide how you want to. I just do a bead around and tin those, because I'll actually be coming back and doing the edges. Could cause me health problems, as in hand issues. Is that what you're talking about, Marcella? I am actually trying to keep everything ergonomically straight. I already have carpal tunnel in my wrist, so um, I I guess the comfort for me is this way, but I see what you're saying. Yes, it can cause some issues probably down the road, and maybe I try and start adapting a different way. Um, it's just this gripping motion for me actually acts up my carpal tunnel. in that fashion, because I'm doing that grip like that. With this, I'm keeping it more neutral for me and not doing a full grip. It's just a light grip. So, but you know, everybody's got to find what works kind of, best for them. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, carpal tunnel. Yeah, unfortunately, I already have that. I don't like the way that is set up over here. Okay. Ergonomic. Oh, yeah. So ergonomically, so as long as you're keeping your wrist in a neutral position, and I'm not like gripping this like a death grip. I'm very loosely gripping it. Um, that's trying to keep my wrist in a neutral position. Don't always work that way, but yeah, I try. Okay, gonna let that. Yeah, you get so involved, and you know, posture goes out the door. But um, I'm a little bit conscious about posture, just for the fact I worked in automotive industry for almost 12 years, and building vehicles, and ergonomics was a big part of our training, because you're in awkward positions a lot, and you can get injured fairly easy for that type of work. So this side, I'll go through and get all done here. Clean my iron a little bit here. And hopefully this one won't take us too long to do here. Try and get that base bead down and let it solidify in, and then come back. Oh, sorry, I got quiet there. I was concentrating. So one thing I'll do after this is I'll let it cool down, and then I will actually come back, and any spots where I'm not, satisfied with the soldering, I will come back and do. I just don't want to spend too much time on it and get it so heated up that the copper foil starts pulling off. So now I'm just going to go ahead and tin this other side. May run a little bit over tonight, but it's okay. So like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do my little plug here. Oh, I guess it was a little long before it actually came through. So it's all not working. That's great. Because of the lag and everything. Actually, it came through okay on the YouTube side. It was just on my side. It looked like it lagged quite a bit. And my solder station I have over on the other side of the room, actually have a stool. It gives me just a little bit. I'm actually sitting a little low compared to what I usually sit when I actually solder. Usually higher up. This is I'm hoping to get another camera so that way I can switch over, and when I do soldering, I can go over to my soldering station for most of my projects. Now, the Mount Fuji project, when I begin to solder it, it will actually stay put right here, and I'll actually solder on this table. My solder station's not that big. It's got it's big enough for probably up to a 24-inch project, but not wide. In height, probably only 14 to 16 inches in height, but in width, I could probably go 24 on that. I'm a very little solder at a time person. So try and put a raised edge on these. It just kind of, brings it up and gives it some dimension. I just don't want it flat. So I will actually let that cool down. And then what I will end up doing is I'll end up coming back and doing the inside, tinning all that out, and then put my nice edge all the way around in there. And then I would just add my hooks at a spot where I think will, center it and for it to be able to hang properly. So as I was doing that, you can kind of see that some of it bled over, which is fine. I'll just go back and clean all that up and everything. So yes, actually I do. I have organized. I've got a cutting station. I've got a grinding station, and I have a soldering station. I have the luxury of having a bigger room available to me here in my basement, and I'm able to have a pretty large studio in a sense for myself. It's big enough for me. I could probably fit another person in here, one or two others doing projects if they wanted to, but I would have to reconfigure some things to do that. But I really like my current setup. But like I said before, I'm interested in doing a cutting station where I have a table, a flip top table that I can actually do my cutting on with the grid, the plastic grid, and it would have a outlet for the glass to come down and get all the crumbs out. But then I would have the ability to flip it over and become a flat surface. Something that I'm kind of getting sorted out in my brain on how to build it. Because like I said, I'm a DIY type person and I like to build stuff too. So I'm going to look at building that type of table for my cutting station. So that'll be interesting to see that come to fruition, because then it acts a dual purpose. And if I ever move to another place or anything else like that, I'm able to, go down to a smaller room, but yet still have the access that I want to the different stations. So, but I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. So this is the daisy pattern. Will be available on the website if you're interested in the small little kit. It comes with the glass, and if you don't have the tools to start out with, I do have some starter kits on the website as well, and you can get it with or without a grinder as well. More future patterns are coming. I've got some butterflies. I think that there's a camera, and there's a couple others that I'm looking at. I'm trying not to make them too difficult of a pattern right now. Really just starting them out with probably less than 12 or less than 15 pieces. So that way they're easier to put together and get it done in one session rather than having it dragged out through multiple sessions. So, well, thank you for joining us tonight, and I will catch you on the next live stream.